We will begin with questions for Coach Ulbrich.
First of all, good morning, guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. Questions? Thank you.
On a couple of the injury things.
Yeah.
Can you just touch on those, especially Olu?
Yeah, Olu's going to go to IR, so it was plantar fasciitis as we thought it might be. So unfortunately, his season is done. The rest of these guys, it's so early in the process. We're just collecting information. Quinnen, Aaron, Sauce, ABT, all of them. So we're just too early to tell right now, but we're hopeful for all of them.
With Olu's injury, that's something that by off-season workouts and stuff, he should be okay. You think?
I'm not sure about it yet. Yeah, I'm not sure the extent of the injury, and I'm fairly certain that they're going to have to go in there and have a procedure to fix it, and they'll probably, once they collect more information regarding that, we'll have a better idea when he'll be available. But it's unfortunate, he's having a great rookie season, but at the same time, these injuries sometimes give you an opportunity to step back and really start absorbing some of the information as you were kind of thrown into the fire. And he'll use it as an opportunity to grow. I know that.
Do you know when he's going to have that surgery?
I don't. I do not.
Jeff, what did you think of the line play as a whole over the last 6-7 weeks?
From the offensive line perspective?
Yeah.
I thought especially these last 2 weeks it's been very, very good, much improved. Going against Jacksonville, one of the better D-lines in the NFL, especially from an edge standpoint, and played extremely well that day. And then I felt like in the Rams game, Aaron was protected for most of the day, and there was a nice pocket. When he's got a nice pocket, he goes to work. So we got to keep improving our offensive line play, but I've definitely felt like as of late it is trending in the right direction.
Does Max Mitchell replace Olu?
It'll be Max, Carter. Those two guys will battle it out this week.
And what can you tell us about the kicking situation? We see you signed Greg Joseph to the practice squad.
Yeah, so we signed a practice squatter. We obviously have Anders still on the roster. We're gonna let these guys compete as the week goes on. And we'll see how it goes. Put the best guy out there.
Is Zerline part of the equation this week?
Potentially. That's absolutely been part of the conversation.
Is Zerline healthy, Jeff? Healthy enough to kick and compete?
Yeah, we're going to see how he's doing, and then if he's feeling up to it and he's feeling good, then we'll open up his window potentially here. So still have a lot to work through as the day goes on here.
Jeff, as a season like this comes close to closing with just a couple left, it's human nature for players and coaches to kind of wonder what's next and what their future is. Where are you with that for yourself? Do you have a hope that you remain here? Obviously there's massive speculation, how are you feeling on these last 2 weeks go in terms of looking ahead?
Yeah, I totally get that question, and it's human nature, I think, for some of us to start to wander and think about next year and think about the future. But in all honesty, I'm staying on my feet right now, and this team needs me to be at my best, and to be at my best, I need to be present. So I'm going to give these guys everything I got for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll see what happens.
Just a nuts and bolts question, Frank.
Yeah.
So today, is it a walkthrough or an
Yeah.
actual full practice? Or
No, it's a walkthrough. It's actually an extended walkthrough, so we'll get quite a bit of volume, but nothing from the standpoint of speed. Being less than 48 hours from game is just it's asking, in my opinion, a little bit too much of these guys. So we'll do an extended walkthrough today.
And what is Aaron's practice status this week?
Well, the fact that we're in walkthrough, helps for today, and then we'll have more information Thursday when we go full speed, and we'll see where he's at.
So he's dealing with that knee.
Yes.
Is there a chance? What's his game status this week?
In all honesty, we're just too early to tell. Yeah, just if I'm a betting man, I'm betting on Aaron Rodgers to play.
So there's some uncertainty then.
With him, probably not, in all honesty. The guy's played through just he does whatever it takes to get on the field on Sundays, and I'd anticipate him trying to do the same thing this week.
Jeff, after the game, he said, he was talking about the last few weeks of the season, saying, these last 2 weeks, we'll see, who wants to be on board for the future, and then who's kind of checked out. Is that something that you feel too, as far as evaluating these guys, looking at these guys, and is there some sense that there have been some guys that go all the way, and then some, maybe because of the way the season's gone, it's tough to get them motivated to finish?
Yeah, I think that there's two answers. One, I think, and I've said this before, there is no context to tape. So, when these guys get evaluated as players and coaches, because the tape is ultimately the coach's resume as well, like, they're not looking at the score, the record, the circumstance, they're just watching tape, So whatever you put on tape, that's exactly who you are, and the other part of that is, and I've always said this, adversity is a gift, because it really reveals people's true identity and their true character. When you're rolling and things are going well, and you're making a push for the playoffs, and you have things to play for regarding the offseason or for the postseason, of course you're going to get people's best. In moments like this, it's a really opportune time to look around and see how people respond. And that's why I'm so confident that we're going to finish the way that we need to finish, because of the character of this locker room.
Rick, does that first matchup with the Bills feel like 100 years ago or 10 seconds ago in terms of time?
100 years ago, definitely. Yes.
Can you speak about the explosives that you guys generated in that first matchup against Buffalo, and maybe what you're looking forward to in terms of what you want your offense to do the second time around here?
Yeah, like the first game, from an explosive standpoint, should have been enough to win. Obviously didn't get it done, didn't finish the game like we needed to. But at the end of the day, like we know, turnover ratio is a great indicator for winning and losing. But just as important is explosive rate. So explosives are a huge part of winning in this league. Last week was a great testament to that. Like, we did a great job with efficiency of moving the ball from an offensive perspective, but we didn't create the explosives and ultimately didn't get the points that were necessary to win that game. So we need to do the same thing this week. We need to get after these guys and create explosives from start to finish. If you do that, the odds would say that they're on your side. So we've got to become an explosive offense for sure this week.
Jeff,
Jeff,
we talked
looking
about
at you for
Garrett. We talked about Garrett's situation yesterday, and how do you handle that from the standpoint? I don't know if it's you or Todd. I mean, he's fourth in the league in targets, so he is getting thrown to. But since Devontae's come, the numbers are down a little, and obviously Aaron has history with him, probably trusts him a little more. So how do you balance that? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I think it's a huge testament to Todd Downing. He does an amazing job as he builds these game plans to really balance the targets with all of our weapons, because we have a lot of weapons, and I know that's a millionaire problem, but that's hard to feed all these guys, because we got great talent, we got explosive players, we have playmakers right and left from an offensive perspective, but he does, I think, an amazing job of making sure that he's marking plays for specific people to be the primary read, and every time before we go into the game, it is so balanced. Now, at the end of the day, the coverage is going to steer the ball where it needs to go. So it's not always a guarantee, even though a play might be designed for a specific person. Ultimately, the coverage dictates the guy that gets targeted. So saying that, every game, nothing has changed. Even with Devontae, joining us, there's still a large portion of targets that are designed for Garrett.
Hey, Rick, if I can just go back to that Buffalo game again. Obviously, that was your first as the interim head coach. What do you remember of what your emotions were on that sideline, and what that day was like for you? Your first go around, and what has it been like since?
Yeah, it was exciting. It was nerve-wracking. It was overwhelming. It was fun. It was exciting. It was all those things. Every emotion that you could imagine, I felt. And it was a blur in a lot of ways. Since then, I felt like I've settled in, and I'm getting much more comfortable in this role. But yeah, it was definitely a whirlwind that night.
Jim, what is
With Josh Allen,
what's
you guys
Sauce's status with the hamstring, Rick?
What's that?
What is Sauce's status with the hamstring?
It's
And do you expect him to be ready for Sunday?
Yeah, he's another one that is just too early. Just talking to him earlier, I know he wants to play and he's going to push hard to do that. I think he relishes these matchups with Buffalo, and it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. But it's just too early to tell right now.
We'll take one more here.
as far as facing the Bills, you guys have gone up against Allen a lot, and over the years, what has he been doing this year where it seems that he's kind of taken that next level, gone to that next level in his development?
Yeah, in all honesty, I feel like he's just improved at everything that he does. He's improved at his ability to see the field and really understand coverage and put the ball where it needs to go. And saying that's a dangerous thing because this is the guy that can beat you in so many ways with his legs, with his off-schedule stuff, with his he is just a true competitor, ultimate winner, and he's tough for a defense because even when you do everything right, he can still beat you. So it's going to take our best in every way, in the way we rush, the way we cover, the way we sustain on the off-schedule stuff, and we're going to have to do it for 4 quarters because they're built that way. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.